Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back today to another video with your boy Aaron Strong, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can make your own Fortnite thumbnail for free in the game. So you don't need to use anyone else's thumbnail, you can just make your own. And yeah, let's get into the video. So first up, you want to make sure you have replays on. So just to show you, settings, down here, replays, make sure you have that on. You're gonna want to play a few games. You can turn it off after, but after you play a few games, you know, you're going to need that footage to actually make your thumbnail. So go up here to career and then go down here to replays, and as you can see, you're gonna have all your replays and stuff right here. Alright, so we're gonna hop into this game right here, and you can rename and save it, or you can just play it, but I'll rename and save it. It doesn't really, we'll just call it A. It doesn't really matter if you save it or not. Alright, so when you load into the game, it's gonna look like this. Well, probably not as blurry because I have my settings. I have my settings a certain way, which we're gonna talk about in a little bit. Alright, so I think I might have found a cool position to take a thumbnail. You know, I just use a shockwave and all that, so it looks pretty cool in the air. So I think I might try to take this as a thumbnail shot. So I don't know how it is for you guys, but you can change your HUD by pressing H. Well, for me it's H. So that's going to come in handy later as well. But this is going to be primarily the only tool that you need. Maybe like your different angles if you're going to use drone, but most of the time I use drone free anyway. Pretty much all the times I make a thumbnail I use drone free. So yeah, we're going to go into drone free right now, and it tells you how to position everything right here right now. I don't really, well yeah, I do use this. I don't really use the speed. I don't really mess with the speed because sometimes zooming in, zooming out kind of can get too fast or too slow depending on how you want it. So we're just gonna zoom in. Let me see, bring it this way a little bit. If you zoom out, it's kind of easier to turn left and right and then zoom back in, you know, simple stuff. Now it's just I want to find my angle. So what angle looks the best? I also notice it looks better when you try to capture like the upper half of the character, you know, three quarters to the upper half, you know. Maybe like right here. Yeah, maybe this looks pretty good. And as you can tell, like the background is foggy over here. It's kind of blurry right here. You can't really see, but his face has really nice definition. His hand, you know, his knee you can see well, but like just over here it's kind of blurry. Its shockwave's kind of blurry. So the way that you fix that is you're going to go into these camera settings. Now autofocus, you can leave it on. Auto exposure is probably going to be on as well. Everything's probably going to be on the default settings. But you know, this is just like using a real camera. So if you've ever used a real camera, you know there's exposure, you can change the focus, you can change the aperture, things like that. So basically the aperture is focusing like your depth. What is your depth of field? So a higher aperture obviously is going to make the background like more in focus. So you want to, when you have an object that's closer to you, you want to have your aperture at a lower number, so 1.4, maybe 2, because what that's going to do, that's going to blur the background but still keep your object in focus, and it looks better taking pictures and making thumbnails. Some people, you know, you can always just take a screenshot with everything in the background fine and then just crop out like the character and blur the background, but I find it easier just to do it in the game, and it's faster too. So you can turn off autofocus, and you see how everything just goes instant blur. It's because I have my focus distance to 165 centimeters. So that's basically how far from the camera is going to be in focus or out of focus. So if you change it like way up here, you see it's basically saying your focus distance, everything that's 5,000 centimeters back here, keep that in focus. So obviously our character is closer, so he's not going to be in focus. So you just want to play around with these settings, kind of find like a nice little area where, you know, he's in pretty much almost all focus, if not entirely in focus. So that would be, you know, that's the best way to get a thumbnail. when it's too low, your focus distance is basically saying whatever is right in front of the camera, put it in focus. So yeah, just play around with the setting until you can find like a nice focus. The majority of him is in focus, which it will look nice as a thumbnail. Sometimes the camera will continuously just drop. You just have to keep dragging it up. You know, it's simple. Your focal length, that's basically your scroll wheel, how close or far you are. So you can adjust it. You can adjust it here or with the scroll wheel. It's easier with the scroll wheel. And then auto exposure is basically showing your exposure. You see how much light is being absorbed into the camera. So when the exposure is all the way up, it's going to be very bright, and when the exposure is low, it's going to be very dark. So you just have to find a nice, you know, exposure. Sometimes I do set this myself, sometimes I don't. I just leave it on auto. But yeah, so you do that, you have yourself your thumbnail. You know, you like the position, everything, you like the way it looks. Then whatever you do, you just press H to make the HUD invisible and look at it, see if it's what you like. And yeah, if you like this thumbnail, then just take a screenshot and boom, you have yourself your own Fortnite thumbnail. And yeah, that is it for today's video, you guys. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.